Somebody recently asked me what I thought about a court ruling in a country whose legal system I knew almost nothing about. And I noticed something strange. I had a response ready before they had even finished the sentence. Not because I had read the ruling, understood the law behind it or knew the context, but because some part of me had decided that having no answer would look worse than having a badly informed one. We have developed a habit of forming opinions on demand. Something happens somewhere in the world. A politician says something, a study gets published, a celebrity gets divorced, and immediately the question appears, what do you think? And somehow I don't know no longer feels like an acceptable answer. It started sounding like a confession instead of an answer, like you're admitting a deficiency rather than just describing what you know. An opinion can feel like understanding, but they are not the same thing. An opinion can be formed in seconds. Understanding may take years. You can have an opinion about a war without knowing its history, geography, incentives, alliances, or what information the people involved are working with. You can have an opinion about someone's relationship after seeing only one argument. You can have an opinion about a medical treatment after reading one frightening story online. The mind does not like empty spaces. When information is missing, it fills in the gaps. And once those gaps have been filled, the story feels complete, but not necessarily true, because the brain prefers a simple explanation to unresolved uncertainty. Having an opinion closes the loop. Even a bad opinion can give you some of the psychological relief of actual understanding. At the same time, there are also people who use uncertainty to avoid ever committing to anything. They say, everything is complicated, everything has two sides, nothing can really be known. That is not what I mean either. For some topics you have done the reading, you have relevant experience, you understand at least enough of the subject to form a position. Your opinion is built on something, but most topics you have not. So it's not about suppressing an opinion you genuinely have. It's to notice when you do not have one and stop manufacturing a substitute. There is a sentence I'm trying to get more comfortable saying. I don't know enough about this to have an opinion. That doesn't mean I don't care. It means I don't currently have enough information to form a responsible conclusion. So what is driving this reflex that we have? Usually it's not the topic itself, it is something happening underneath it. The first is social cost. Groups assign status partly to those who have answers, who understand what is going on, who can explain the situation. And I don't know can feel like giving up the floor. So people fill the silence not with information, but with social positioning that looks like information. The second is identity. Somewhere along the way, many of us adopted the idea that being informed is part of who we are. So admitting a gap in our knowledge feels like reporting a flaw in ourselves. But you are not the sum of all the information currently inside your head. You can be smart, thoughtful, and well-read and still know almost nothing about the thing someone just asked your opinion on. The third reason is discomfort. An unformed opinion is an open loop. It leaves you suspended between possibilities. And the brain doesn't like being suspended. So we close the loop as quickly as possible. We choose an explanation, choose a side, repeat a phrase that sounds convincing, and the discomfort disappears. Not because we discovered the truth, because we stopped searching for it. The problem is that when you have an opinion about everything, you eventually lose the ability to tell which of your beliefs are well-founded and which are just reactions you picked up somewhere. They all sound the same, whether they are backed by 10 years of relevant experience or 40 seconds spent skimming a headline. And it matters, because you act on your beliefs, you vote based on them, you spend money based on them, judge people based on them. And once you announce an opinion, another problem appears. It begins attaching itself to your identity. Now, changing your mind no longer feels like updating your understanding. It feels like losing, especially if you have already defended the opinion publicly. That is why premature opinions can be so sticky. They create commitment before understanding. And after commitment, you stop asking, is this true? You start asking, can I use this to defend what I already said? The alternative is to resize your opinion to match your evidence. Sometimes your evidence supports a strong position. Sometimes it supports a cautious one. Sometimes you can say, my first reaction is this, but I do not trust my first reaction yet. And sometimes the only accurate answer is, I don't know. That is not a weaker contribution. It is often the most useful contribution in the room. You're not a judge, you're not writing government policy, you're not personally responsible for solving an international conflict and do it fast. Nobody is waiting on your verdict, so the discomfort of leaving it open, you can afford it. Sometimes thinking means keeping the question open a little longer. There is a nice side effect people do not expect. When you stop having an opinion about everything, the opinions you do hold begin to carry more weight. If you are known for saying I don't know when you do not know, then when you say I think this is true, it actually means something. You do not need strong convictions about everything. You need stronger convictions about a smaller number of things. Things you have examined, things you have thought through, things you are willing to take responsibility for. And around those convictions, there should probably be a wide territory of uncertainty. You're not less competent because you have gaps. Everyone has gaps. The difference is whether you can see your own. The people who seem most reliably right are not necessarily the people with an answer for everything. They are the people who have learned to distinguish between what they know, what they suspect, and what they have not examined at all. They are confident about the few things they actually understand, careful about the things they partly understand, and quiet about the rest. So very often the most intelligent, accurate, and honest thing you can say is, I don't know enough about this to have an opinion.